it is so special that I was traveling today in the morning by flight, and I was on the verge of preparing a speech, which I have never done. I mean, in any class that I have taught, I have never come with a sheet, but I have come with a couple of pages. Depending on the interest of people, I will cut it short. And I know there are very busy administrators sitting around, so I will not waste much time. Now, I will just get back to that day. Of course, I am able to talk more about the institute and the department rather than my interaction with the outer world. But I can't resist in speaking a few things. The day when I submitted the first draft of my PhD thesis to my beloved advisor, whom you saw in the screen. Now, I don't know whether sir remembers it or not. He first started looking into the acknowledgement, and that was not the thing to which I gave most importance, and I was a bit nervous that I didn't write something in a very structured way in the acknowledgement, but then I realized that acknowledgement is important, and today I will devote most of the things what I want to say regarding acknowledgement of various people who have tried to make a difference in my life, in my personal life, and in my career in general. And of course, after that, I have become an acknowledgement specialist. You know, Professor P.K. Das is sitting here. He gave me the duty of giving vote of thanks in the ISAJB Heat and Mass Transfer Conference, and I think I didn't do a bad job. So that means I have become an acknowledgement specialist. So you must accept that. So now, acknowledgement is a very difficult thing because I think the first acknowledgement goes to your parents, your father and mother, who have shown you the light of the day, and of course your wife, and of course my son also. These are sources of inspiration who have always been the sources of inspiration, and collaborators. You have seen some of my collaborators. Maybe some of the collaborators could not be contacted. I don't know, but they have all created a big difference in my career. And in particular, I would like to mention the name of Professor Madhu. When Professor Madhu first knew me, at that point of time, I was very new in microfluidics, and many facilities in our microfluidics lab we could develop because of his continuous support. I would also like to mention the name of my PhD, postdoctoral supervisor, Professor Franz Dust. He played a big role in making me realize various interesting issues of fluid mechanics research. But I don't want to go on adding these names. I would like to emphasize on my experience at IIT Kharagpur, and in particular I would like to divide it into certain steps, like certain categories: the directors, the heads of the departments, my colleagues, and my students. So I can remember one fine day when I got a call from the then director of IIT Kharagpur, Professor Amitabh Ghosh. At the time I was not sure where I am going to settle, and most probably I would be vanishing to the Western world at that point of time had I not received that phone call. It was very special for me because I never expected that the director from IIT will give a junior person like me a call and say a few words and asking me that whether I am interested for a faculty position in the mechanical department of IIT Kharagpur. So I must acknowledge Professor Ghosh for, and he is one of the persons for whom I have been here. Then the next director was Professor Dubey, and there are very nice, interesting stories about him, but I'd like to tell one particular story which is related to the research that I do. I believe nobody is recording it. It's not a not a very formal gathering. Now, when Professor Dubey was the director, I started thinking seriously about doing microfluidics research. And I mean, at any point of time, starting from those days, any important administrative things in need, just we used to approach Professor PPC, who is now the director. So I approached Professor PPC, and he said that, this is a very good idea, you go ahead and all. And somehow he fixed up a meeting of me with Professor Dubey. So I went along with Professor Dubey. Then I was a junior faculty member, and Professor Dubey asked me, "अच्छा बताओ तो microfluidics क्या चीज है?" First of all, it is very difficult to answer it in brief. Second, my Hindi is very poor. So and I knew that if I could not impress him in Hindi, then no fund will follow from the institution. So I told him, sir, microfluidics क्या चीज है? छोटा चैनल में बढ़िया फिजिक्स. Somehow he became so impressed. I do not know why. Of course, he might have got some feedback from Professor PPC about our research and all those things earlier. I don't think that this single phrase statement would have created much of a difference. But at the end, he approved quite a large amount of money for our lab, and that's how our lab started. So I must acknowledge Professor Dubey. Now, after Professor Dubey, we had Professor Acharya, very serious person, very difficult to reach. I can remember that there was a day when I waited for 5 hours to even get inside his office. It seemed it was tough, but on the other hand, he had been kind to me. I must acknowledge that he had been kind to me, and after that, we had Professor Som. I will have a special section for him. So, I don't want to discuss about Professor Som in the context of a directorship, and I think he is much beyond. Much beyond that to me, not just a director. And of course, Professor PPC. At any point of time, when you are having the best of the time in your life to the worst of the time in your life, I think there are only few more people, but not many, whom you can approach like him, and he would always come up with some kind of solution. So now the heads of the departments. So when I first joined the institute, by that time, of course, Professor Amarendu Mukherjee was the head of the department, and recently he has been seriously ill, and I pray to God that he becomes better and better with time. Now he facilitated my sitting, my office, and everything. And it was very nice of him. Only thing is that one day he made a very interesting comment. He said there are two types of researchers in the world, one bond-dropper and non-bond-dropper. I could easily realize that I belong to the second category, and I just stopped there. that Professor Som, and what would I say? I mean, he has been like my father in the campus. That's what I can believe in. Now, there have been very few moments when Professor Som actually sat with me with some particular advice showered on me. By his own style of talking, he meant many things and he inculcated many important values that a professional should have. And I don't want to waste time by stating many of those principles, but one or two I can share with you, and I think which are important as professionals. It is very easy to criticize others, but it is very difficult to do the job. I mean, this is one very important thing he says, and yes, it is very true. I mean, there are many film critics whom you see that who are writing criticism about films. Ask them to make even a poor movie. They will do a very bad job. So it is very easy to criticize people, but it is very difficult to do a job, do a good job. Then another very important thing about research, what he mentions, that like in research, research is like an ocean. You may not know how to swim in ocean, but you at least have a feel what is ocean, and that is what is very important. That it is many times we as researchers think that pond is like an ocean. That something we are doing, we believe that that is the world, that is where we are. But at least let us appreciate that the ocean is so big. Maybe we are not in a position to swim in the ocean, but at least get a feel of the ocean. So many other interactions with Professor Som I had and we have been having. I can't think of a day in an office without having a tea with cup of tea with Professor Som. Arguably, I think one of the finest exponents of thermal sciences, fluid mechanics, thermodynamics, and heat transfer that our country has ever produced. And I must say that, acknowledge that, considering the fabulous, some of the fabulous respected teachers at IISc Bangalore that I had, by taking them into consideration. Now, after that, after Professor Som, we had Professor AKC, and despite the age gap, we became very close friends because we were traveling by Dholi Express almost on every Friday. And the kind of trust that he had on me, I don't know whether you remember or not. In those days I used to travel to foreign countries very frequently. My son was not born at that time, so I had a bit more flexibility and all. So I required a sort of NOC for visa processing, and usually that is given by register. It is never given by the government department. But I just approached sir and said that, sir, I need it because I have to go for the visa interview very shortly. He easily could have said that no, it is not possible. You better go to the register and get it done by him. I of course had a formal leave application by that time. But very generously, he immediately said that what you want, he just let me know, I will give it. And on that same day, he gave it to me without questioning what was written there inside. So this is the kind of trust that I have enjoyed in the department, and not just from Professor AKC, then from Professor Ranjan Bhattacharya, who had a huge amount of faith and trust on me, and of course Professor P.K. Das, who is currently the head. I have learned a lot also from Professor P.K. Das, and we jointly guided one. Of course, he was senior to me by age, one research scholar, and I learned a lot from him. I would also like to mention before source from our thermal science, Professor R.C. Arora and Professor R.K. Brahma. And when I joined this institute, they were pretty senior professors. And Professor Arora used to come up with a smile at almost every instant of interaction, and he was an excellent human being. Professor Brahma used to give lots of pieces of advice, and it was almost like he used to give advice for free of cost. So one particular advice I can remember from him, and this advice I will tell in Bengali because he had given the advice in Bengali, and I will explain to the others that what it means. So he said, he used to call us tu, like tui, and he said that keep one thing in mind. There are two important things in your life: পরীক্ষার খাতা আর জার্নালের পাতা. So that means when you were, this is one of the most important pieces of advice in an academician's life. পরীক্ষার খাতা means your exam copy, the answer script. So when you are a student, your answer script, and when you are a researcher, the manuscript of the journal. So Porikha Khata and Journal Pata. I think this is like one of the best pieces of advice that I have received from Professor Brahma. And I am very sorry that like both Professor Arora and Professor Brahma are not there with us, but I still remember my deep interactions with both of them. Now, coming to my other colleagues, I will not name individual colleagues, but I would like to share with you that like in this department has given me such kinds of facilities which I would have not possibly got anywhere else in the world. And the people who are close to me, very close to me, they will know that I have foregone quite a few very quote-unquote attractive job offers just because of this department. Because this department has really facilitated so many things. I will give one particular example. The microfluidics lab that you see right now, it was not a microfluidics lab. It was a combustion lab. The combustion lab that was headed by Professor S.K. Dash, as it is currently, and Professor Som was an integral part of this. So when we got some fund to get the equipment and all, there was a need of having a lab space. And I approached Professor Som. I said that, sir, I need some lab space in the department because the institute is ready to give me some money. I have got some money from other funding agencies also, but where shall I keep this equipment? Professor Som was so generous that he said, you take half of my lab. And he just like split the lab into two parts so that I could host my equipment. Now where will you get such a support in the world? I have visited many places, but nowhere you will get this. Not just this support, I mean many of you know, many of you might not know. I mean, at one point of time in my career, I had a very tough time, and because of several reasons for which I don't want to discuss here. But the kind of support that the department gave to me, and nobody asked any question. I mean, there was a fine morning when there was a big story in the newspaper coming against me. I entered the department. I mean, sky was like almost falling on my head, and I just sat in my office. I didn't know how to react to that. I wrote an email, of course, to many of my colleagues. I mean, the common email. After that, I found that when I was walking through the corridor and all those things, everybody was as normal to me as they could be. Everybody was so generous. Everybody was so kind. I mean, they could have raised this thing, that thing, pinched in this way, that way. In many places, it is done. But I'm not going to say that who was right or who was wrong. The question is that how the department
was friendly to me is something that I will remember throughout my life. So it is not just the contribution of one individual in the department or one particular professor, but the department as a whole has been so cooperative, and that has been really special for me. Finally, I would like to talk about my students. Every occasion you don't get an opportunity to talk about your students, but being a researcher, your research is never complete without your students. And not only that, even as a teacher, you are not a teacher if you do not have students. So till now, 13 PhD students have graduated from me. Some have been jointly supervised, some have been singly supervised, and all these students have been very special to me. My first PhD student was my BTech batchmate, Dr. Deepankar Chatterjee, who is now the head of the simulation group of CSIR CMAI. He was my first PhD student, but you can understand how great a student can be when he is your batchmate. So, I mean, those were very interesting moments. My second PhD student was 1 year senior to me in IISc. He was a master student. My third PhD student, who was jointly guided by Professor P.K. Das, was at least 8 years senior to me, if not more. We used to call him Kateji. And my fourth PhD student, who was jointly guided with Professor Som, Bajendraji, was at least 8 years senior to me. And my fifth PhD student, I mean these are students in the order of joining, Biswalji, he was also I think about 7-8 years senior to me. So I was desperately looking into some young blood, just like Dhoni was interested in some young blood into the team when Dr. Siddhartha Das joined my team. So, of course, he graduated much before than many of these students, but like I was just talking about the chronology. So, Siddhartha was a very special student. I mean, many of you as students have been scolded by your guides. You may accept it or you may not. Have you ever, as guides, been scolded by your students? So, Siddhartha, in the night at 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock, will give me a hard copy of a paper which he has drafted, and he believes that is the best writing in the world. And during that time, I believe that it is not amongst the best that could possibly believe. And I said that please give me some time. Next day morning at 8 o'clock, he gives a call. Sir, have you done the job? I used to always be on my toes, but as exceptional student, like I tell many of my present students that, like, if you want to be a successful student, you have to have a hunger like a diabetes patient. You eat and you feel that you are more hungry. So he published papers and he feel that he was more hungry to publish more papers, and that kept him going. I feel very happy that he is now a faculty member in one of the leading universities in US. Many of the students, many of our BTech, he was a BTech student here, many of our students had a belief that like if you do PhD in India, then you have career only in India. This is an example that shows that by doing PhD at a place like IIT Kharagpur, you can be working as a faculty member in one of the best places in the world. So, I mean, because of lack of time, I cannot talk about too many students. I will talk about one or two more students before I will conclude. The second student who you have seen here, Dr. Tamal Das. Had he not been there, I would have not got the courage to work into the biological problems in microfluidics. He told in his clip that every Thursday he used to come to my house, and because of his generosity, he did not tell that what is the purpose for which he was coming. He was coming mainly to teach me biology. So there was a pact between us. He was a student BTech of our biotechnology department. He said that, sir, I want to learn fluid mechanics from you. I said that yes, I can do it, but it has to be a give and take policy. You have to teach me biology. So every time he said that he used to give me some funda on biology, and in the paper I used to write some lines which go beyond that funda, which possibly biologists don't accept. So that's how our interactions were going on, and I must say that out of all the students who have done PhD with me, I have learned the most from him. That maybe because of his discipline, the difference between his discipline and my discipline, but had he not been there, I would have not learned little bit of biology that I have learned. So thereafter, after Siddhartha and Tamal, I had again a very fabulous PhD student, Devopriyo, who has been a BTech of our manufacturing discipline, and then he continued to do PhD with me. Again, an exceptional student. Right? Talent-wise, I would say he is the best that I have ever seen in my profession as an advisor. There have been other students, like I can talk about Jivan Jyoti, like who has been an exceptional student, exceptionally matured in writing, and exceptional human being. And I have shared many of my agonies in life with him, and it was so nice of him, and I must acknowledge that. Of course, I had another exceptional student which many of you have seen, Dr. Rajiv Chakraborty. How many of you have seen? So, interacting with Rajiv, I never knew who is the student, who is the advisor, and everything used to be falsified. And I am so grateful to him that at the end he completed his PhD. So, I will not go on talking about PhD students. I will just have a couple of minutes to acknowledge my collaborators from IIT Kharagpur. Many of us talk about collaborators from outside institutes, but in India, the culture of collaboration within the institute is very poor. The problem is, I will tell you very frankly, in IITs, every professor thinks that they are individual Einsteins. And if you think in this way, it is very difficult to interact with the other. If all of us think that we are the best, then we will not interact with others. And I have been very fortunate to interact with my collaborators. I will first talk about the collaborators within the department. Professor Shom has been, of course, a long collaborator, but of course he is much beyond a collaborator, but I will still call him a collaborator. Professor P.K. Das, I have collaborated with him. I have also collaborated a little with Professor Ram Gopal for some problem where there was an interface between CFD and refrigeration, so I must acknowledge that. From outside department, my biggest collaborator is Professor Sunanda Dasgupta, who is currently the Dean Sponsored Research. Professor T.K. Maiti from the Biotechnology Department. And I also collaborated with Professor Indranil Manna, who is currently the director of IIT Kanpur, and he was here in the Materials Department at Colombo. So I must acknowledge their contributions. Now I would like to stop here because too much acknowledgement is possibly going on, and it must end somewhere. But I again like to talk about the students who are currently there. I don't want to name them individually, but I will tell you that once these students graduate, and many of them will just like turn out to be much more successful than many of my previous students have been, and many of them are exceptionally talented and brilliant ones. And whatever I have achieved is because of them. I must acknowledge that. Now I would like to stop speaking today. Actually, I had a temptation of speaking something more for the students, because very fortunately I was invited for one program which was to celebrate the 80th birthday of Professor Rodham Narasimha. I do not know whether many of you have heard his name, like a legendary professor in fluid mechanics from India, who has recently completed 80 years, and arguably the most famous professor of fluid mechanics that India has ever produced. And he is a fellow of the Royal Society, and it was really an honor to be invited in his 80th birthday. And there, one of his students spoke about something related to research what Professor Narasimha wanted to not directly preach, but wanted to inculcate to his students. And that famous professor is Professor K.R. Srinivas, who is again a world famous person in turbulence. So I had noted down a few things about what Professor Srinivas spoke about Professor Narasimha, and those are very important. And those are like some sort of pointers to young researchers, including young faculties. But I think that we are running out of time, so if you permit me, maybe I will, because that I cannot speak extempore. I have noted down what Professor Srinivas wanted to say, and those are there in this piece of cheat which I prepared. So it depends on you. If you want, I can talk about one or two or three of those pointers. Otherwise, we can call it a day and enjoy the time. So. What are the attributes of a good researcher? What are the attributes of a good researcher that which were there in Professor Narasimha? Excellent taste in choosing interesting and non-trivial problems. This is one of the very important things. If some of us say select a problem that you add sugar to a solution and it will become sweeter, that is of course not one of the most trivial problems in research that we can think of. So excellent taste in choosing interesting and non-trivial problems, super technical mastery and rigorous discipline needed to keep on going when things get hard. Having an internal compass not to be satisfied easily. Great skill to express thoughts well in writing and in words. Good judgment in not banging your head against a problem that may not yield any satisfactory results. Unique ability to synthesize pieces of knowledge towards a unified goal. And of course, he must be an excellent human being. So these are like some of the attributes of a researcher. He talked about certain points which Professor Srinivasan, Professor Narasimha he never preached, but he told that these are like do's and don'ts. Some of the do's and don'ts, he said there are two ways of doing research. First, to become an expert in using a set of tools and search for problems to use those tools. The other way of doing research is to learn tools to solve your problem. the latter is the superior one. So many of us have a tendency that, well, I know MATLAB, I know ANSYS, I know this, so let me find out a problem to which fits with this. But what he wanted to say is that this is the problem that I wanted to solve. For that, whatever I have to learn, I will learn. Always work on more than one research problem. Always work on more than one research problem. This is important when one problem simply does not work or others seem to scoop it. When you have got good solid results that satisfy yourself, go ahead towards publishing your results. Anticipate questions in reader's mind and answer at the right time. Not too early, not too late. Give the right amount of details. This is about writing papers. Claiming too much may create a bad name. Like if you claim too much in your research articles. I am sorry professors, I am not meaning for you, this is mainly for students. Claiming too little may be equally detrimental since competitive people may marginate you. So, I will claim a balance. The next one is for my young colleagues and the young faculty members who are here, not for the senior faculty members. Protect your time as much as possible. Don't run into too many things. If people offer you new opportunities and flatter you, inspiring you to participate in various committees, don't be too impressed unless you are very passionate. Think of polite ways of saying no. If they are serious about their participation, they will surely come back to you. Accept that by saying that you may not be able to deliver as much as they expect, but try your best. Personal responsibility overwhelms passion. I think this is one of the very important things that Professor Narasimha said. Rejoice any external appreciation, but don't expect admiration flooding your way simply because you have given your best. Doing your job well does not necessarily endear you to your colleagues. Don't particularly strive for it or expect it. Be polite to your colleagues, but if their style diverges from yours in fundamental ways, avoid interactions with them. I don't agree with that, of course, but this is what he says. Don't get into thinking that you will be able to change them. And as much as possible, separate your private life from professional life. These are some of the points that Professor Narasimhan, a very famous professor, he told. And I think some of these are well taken, but some of these are maybe because of some negative experience that he himself gathered in his own professional life. Anyway, I don't want to stretch this speech any further, and I would once again like to express my sincere gratitude to this department. When I say this department, I mean my faculty colleagues, also the non-teaching staff, my laboratory staff,